Hello and welcome through the Stretford Lens. Let's get on with the video. This is my match reaction from the game against Fulham. Very dramatic game, so let's have a look at it in a bit more detail. Now, in my match preview video, there was a few things that I predicted that were so close to being correct. I said the score was going to be 3-1. It was 3-2 in the end. However, the way that I saw it as us being 2-1 up and then killing the game stone dead, making it 3-1. I never predicted Fulham to pull it back to a draw at any point and for us to need to get a winner. So it was a close prediction, only one goal off. We won, so I got that right. First goal scorer, I said we were going to get a penalty and Bruno was going to score it. And we did get a penalty, as everyone knows, but it got overturned. So that is so close to being a perfect prediction from me. First goal scorer, penalty, Bruno. It would have been like, I would have been sat there like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. But I didn't quite get that satisfaction. However, we got the free kick from it and ultimately we scored from it. So I'm still happy. I think we started this game pretty well. Ahmad was very good in the opening few minutes. He was definitely terrorising Robinson. Now, I want to talk about the penalty decision a little bit. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if that's a penalty, because the way the ball goes out of play, it looks like he gets a touch on the ball. And obviously, rewatching it, he does get a touch on the ball. Not quite sure what the referee saw. However, VAR, I think, made the right decision because pulled him back. He was pulling his shirt the whole time, but as soon as he gets into the box, he stops holding his shirt. But the reason he can make that slide tackle and actually get the ball, a tiny little touch on the ball, was because he was pulling him back. So in turn, you are looking at the decision of the pullback, and that is a factual decision that it's outside the box, which is why we got the free kick. I know Marco Silva wasn't happy with that, but he's never fucking happy, is he? He's a whining little bastard. Every single time we play Fulham, or I see Fulham play someone, he's always in the official's ear, and he's always trying to make it seem like Fulham are getting hard done by. And it's just not the case. That was the right decision from VAR. You say to the ref, okay, I think you made a mistake here. It's not a penalty, and we'll give the free kick because the pullback was outside the box. The actual foul was outside the box. That was a correct decision from VAR. Then obviously you see them high-fiving and going, get in, we haven't conceded a penalty. Well, you concede a free kick and you concede from that free kick. They weren't switched on. Obviously, Casemiro's always a threat in the air. We know that. The only thing that annoys me with Casemiro is his timing of the run sometimes. He's so often offside, but from here, you can't really be offside because of the angle of the free kick. It's very hard to be offside. Brilliant ball in by Bruno. Great amount of whip on it, and it's perfect to attack for Casemiro, or any player for that matter. He puts it in an area which goes above most of the Fulham defenders and most of our players as well, which allows Casemiro to ghost off Raul Jimenez, who switches off, and eventually Cuenca's blindsided because he doesn't know Casemiro's coming, and Casemiro, it's a bullet header from him. It's a brilliant header from Casemiro. It's textbook Casemiro in that aspect, and who knows, that could be his final goal for the club. And I hope it isn't, because I think every United fan absolutely loves Casemiro. We know that he's not got the legs that he used to, but my God, does he make up for it in everything else. His attacking threat and his challenges and his commitment to the cause, it is second to none. It's a bit like the Varane situation where you wish we signed him a couple years earlier to get the most out of them. They're going to go down as heroes for the club in this time period, this tough time period that we're in, because they are exactly what this club stands for. Everyone loves Varane. Even if he was so injury prone, everyone loves him. And it's going to be the same with Casemiro. Everyone's going to disregard the bad times with Casemiro and only remember the good times because of how many good times he has brought us. And if that is Casemiro's final goal, it's a very good goal to end on. Then the rest of the first half, they were starting to break through us a little bit. Our midfield looked a bit disjointed. Fulham have got a lot of threats, which I mentioned in my preview video. The likes of Chukwueze, the likes of Harry Wilson, they are very proactive. They will move for each other. There's constantly triangles around them, and Smith Rowe and Raul Jimenez. They're a constant threat for them. Even if they haven't got the end product sometimes to finish their attacks, they are a threat, 100%. And in that first half, we started to see us lose our shape a little bit, just a little bit. because a midfield of Casemiro and Mainu, it's not amazing. It's not perfect. There isn't quite enough legs in there. And we've seen Fulham be the first team to not expose it, but show that there is a weakness in this side. But nevertheless, on to the second half. And our second goal comes from Mainu. Good pass into Casemiro. Casemiro, what a beautiful ball. The weight of the pass on that to Cunha is fantastic. It just holds up, so he's got just enough angle to shoot. And when I first saw this, I never noticed that he did a little, you know what I mean? Never noticed that. Great bit of skill, great bit of flair. And his some finish from Cunha. They're the types of chances that we've been missing all season. That is a brilliant finish from Cunha. Roof of the net, swipes across it. That is a confident goal. That goal comes from confidence of taking that shot on and executing it perfectly. And he hits a little surfing one. Little surfing one again. Yeah, emphatic finish from Cunha. And we're 2-0 up. And everyone just goes, okay, maybe this will be more comfortable. Except we knew it wasn't going to be. I was sat there bricking it, absolutely bricking it, because I knew if they get a goal, their tails are going to be up. Their little posh cottaging tails were going to be up. Because momentum in football, it is so big. It is the biggest aspect of, if you're tactically brilliant, you're the best players in the world, momentum will always beat it. And we kept on giving away free kicks and corners in really dangerous positions. It was just making me nervous just watching it. And then they get a free kick, hits the wall straight away, bit of a scramble in the box. I think it's Chukwueze that has a shot. Comes off Martinez, I'm pretty sure. And then it spins all the way to Cuenca, and Cuenca taps it in. Lamens can't quite get there. And I did not like the fact that he scored, because he got away with a tackle against Brian and Burmo in the first half where he gets a tiny little nick on the ball. These are clumsy tackles. And the Cunha one, he gets a touch on the ball, but he's still a clumsy tackle. And the fact that he's the one to get that goal, I was just like, right, brilliant. Written in the stars, weren't it? However, VAR comes to our rescue. Chukwueze is just offside. It's a close one. Watching it, I was like, ooh, we could get away with this. We could get away with this. And I was praying that we would. And VAR overturned the decision. Still 2-0 to United. Now, Ugarte came on in the 75th minute. And when you bring Ugarte on, you're basically asking to concede goals. I'm not directly blaming him, but I also don't think it's a coincidence that we conceded 2 goals when Ugarte came on the pitch, and we lost our shape when Ugarte came on the pitch. I don't think that's a coincidence. They break through the lines, Sanderberger gets the ball in between our midfield. Well, looking at this picture, Ugarte's miles away, Mainu's covering, and Brian's trying to cover. But there's a gap. We're holding a very high line for this. And that's why Raul Jimenez can slip in behind. It's a perfect ball to him. And then Lamens comes out, spreads himself as best as he can. And it's a great save. And you think, get in. We've survived. We're getting there. This is going to be a win. And next thing you know, the referee's going, penalty. And we're like, what the sorry? Penalty? Are you all right? But yeah, looking back, it is a penalty. I'm not going to lie, it is a penalty. It is definitely a penalty, because if Raul Jimenez isn't taken out, he's probably getting the rebound to Lamens' save. But I just feel like we've seen those where the ball's gone and someone will take the player out and the ref doesn't even acknowledge it. The ref doesn't see it. But in this case, he did see it. And we've conceded a penalty in the 83rd minute. And here, I was just begging Lamens to save it. He takes the penalty. And it is some penalty from Raul Jimenez, by the way. He scored 12 out of 12 in the Premier League now, meaning that he's got the best record in Premier League history with the most pens taken. So, fair play to him. He's good at penalties. When that goal went in, I was bricking it. My worst fears had come true. 2-1 with, 6 minutes left to play. And then they added 9 minutes of added time. I don't know where they've pulled that from. I can tell you where they've pulled it from, where the sun don't shine. But how did they get to that decision? 9 minutes. I was sat there with my dad and we were like, yeah, like 6 or 7. Not like, no one do the meme. If you do the meme, get out. 6 or 7 minutes of added time. But 9, where have they pulled 9 from? Seriously. But we were actually doing well to hold them out. Obviously, we sat back quite deep, which you have to do. At this stage of the game, it made sense, you know what I mean? Nice little interlink play with Kevin and Sessegnon, 1-2 between each other. but Ahmad loses Kevin. If someone's going for a 1-2, the man that you're with who makes that first pass, you track him. You block that 1-2 from happening. And we just didn't. There's 2 on Sessegnon. It's Mazraoui and Ugarte. So that pass shouldn't have got through. The pass to Kevin, Ahmad should be marking that or at least get a foot in. Kevin's got time and space. Don't give him time and space. That's the ultimate lesson here. Don't give Premier League players time and space to wrap it top corner. It's hard to point defensively and say, wow, this is really poor. So you've just got to stop that initial bit to stop the brilliant finish from happening in the first place. It feels like we've conceded the same goal about 7 times this season. We conceded it against Burnley. I feel like it was Burnley, Bournemouth. Just people love to score screamers against us. Like wrapping it top corner. Morgan Rogers did it twice. Now, I mentioned Kevin briefly in my preview video. I said they've got great players like Harry Wilson, Chukwueze, Kevin and Raul Jimenez. The 2 latter were the ones that scored the goal. And Kevin, so far in a Fulham shirt, he's done nothing. Every single time I've watched him, he's tried a little skill here and there, being a Brazilian player in the Premier League, getting outdone physically. But when he plays us, that's when he wraps it top corner. Cheers, Kevin. I know you lost your mum, mate, but you don't need to take it out on us. The player didn't actually lose his mum, by the way. I'm referencing the Home Alone mum that died this week. Rest in peace to her. Now, as soon as that went in, I felt sick to my stomach. I was like, we can't have anything nice. We can't even have a 3-game win streak. It's got to be ruined by something. As soon as this went in, I just went like, I put my head down onto the couch. I was just like, really? Again? Really? I felt sick to my stomach watching that. But it wasn't over there. Good ball from Ahmad into Mazraoui. Mazraoui, beautiful ball into Bruno. Bruno with a little fake to beat Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey, he's a unit. He's built like a brick house. We all know that. Bruno, very intelligent, lets it run. He's quicker than him. He knows that. He's quicker. He just gets behind him. He can see Sesko making the run. Sesko can't really bust a gut to get into the box for this, because if he does, he is going to be offside. So he holds back just a bit. He's jogging. He's not fully sprinting, because otherwise he would be offside. The ball comes in. It just misses Joachim Anderson, I think it is. He sticks a leg out, trying to get it. He misses it, falls to Sesko, and you're watching it like, please. It's a good first touch, but it's also a very straight touch. So he can't really shoot directly straight away. The first touch is very, very straight. It goes ahead of him like that. So he's still facing away from the goal. And as he swivels and shoots into that top corner, and he's falling over as he does it. I love it when players do that. I don't know why. It just makes it look really nice when they're swiveling and they fall over and then they run off to celebrate. And Old Trafford erupts. Unbelievable scenes. Pure elation, but also pure relief. And as his celebration, he decides to jump about as high as the Burj Khalifa, because he's just got an insane vertical on him. I don't know why he does, but he jumps so high for that celebration. I was absolutely buzzing for him. And I did call it. I said, even if Sesko doesn't start this game, I can see him getting that 3rd goal and I can see him getting a goal. And I was so happy for him when that went in, because he needed a moment like that in a Man United. He hadn't had a moment like that. He got a goal against Brentford, consolation goal. He got 2 against Burnley, we drew, so still negative. Got a goal in the FA Cup, we still went out. This is the moment where he gets a goal and we win, and it's a huge moment for us in the top 4 race. And that was just a perfect moment for him and for us. We needed that. A draw would not have been good enough. That would have halted our progress massively. But now it feels like we can continue this momentum into the next game. I hope. And I did say we sat back a bit when we conceded that goal, and even before that. And I think Jamie Redknapp, I'm about to say Jamie Redknapp said something good, by the way, which is blow my mind. He said sitting back doesn't cater to the Premier League. It does not suit the Premier League. When you sit off, it means that's when you concede those outside of the box screamers, because you're so deep, your defensive line is so deep that the players outside of the box, if they just do a little interchange, they've played around your wingers and your fullbacks. The centre-backs are so deep, the midfielders are so deep, so there's a bit of space and a nice little pocket to work around, and that's when they can find that finish into the top corner. By sitting back, you put yourself under pressure, Sometimes it'll work, sometimes you'll hold out. But in the Premier League this season, I think we've seen enough examples to say sitting back is almost never the right option unless you're really hanging on to something. West Ham did it against Chelsea and it did not work one jot. City did it against Spurs. It did not work one jot. It does not work. Sitting back puts pressure on you. It does not make you defensively sound. It actually makes you defensively worse because the momentum and the crowd get up for it and the players feel that. In my opinion, momentum carries far too much weight to sit back. You should just stay in your shape. And most of the time, that will benefit you more than sitting back. And I'm not saying that Carrick did anything wrong there, by the way, because ultimately we won the game. But I just think sitting back is more dangerous than it is just staying where you are and how you are. If you want to change a player. But don't fully sit back. Don't have your midfield completely back. Don't have your defensive line so far back that you're inviting pressure. But that's my final note for this game, guys. That is my match review and post-match analysis from the game against Fulham, where we won 3-2. A few decent predictions from me. Some very close ones here and there. But ultimately, I'm just happy that we won that game. And it was a decent performance. Next two games, we've got Spurs at home, I'm pretty sure, and West Ham away. If we win those two games, then we'll start talking a bit more serious. But we need to win those games. And that's all from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Share with your friends if you think they'd enjoy this channel too. And I'll see you next time through the Stretford lens. Take care, Reds. Come on, United.
I step off the train. I'm walking down your street again.